Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Well, gonna take up out here at the Avon Park Aero Models Club. We're gonna take up the FREEWING 90mm Blue Angels F18C Blue Angel. Gonna take her up, have some fun with her. Got the KM model afterburner inside there. That is just one. If you look really close, you can see the wings are kind of dusty. Shows you how long it's been since I've flown that. But one of the best way to clean your plane and get the dust off of it is to blow the dust off of it. So here we go. Put the hat cam on. One of my biggest things is, I get so caught up in flying, I forget to be cognizant of that I'm filming too, and I have to, hold my head a certain way and present the plane a certain way so you can see it. Right, up, down, right, left. I get caught up in flying, so imagine that.
Takeoff flaps.
All right, wind is about 5 miles an hour, but it's directly across the runway. So landing flaps and takeoff flaps will definitely be needed. All right, going to take off in my high rates. We'll talk about rates and timer and all that good jazz afterwards. Okay. Here we go.
Gear up. Flaps up.
Man, what a beautiful locked-in jet.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Oh boy. Man, is she beautiful. Flying kind of slow now.
Landing flaps.
I'll deploy the gear now.
Retracts down. Flaps up.
Flaps are up, the gear is down.
Landing. Time remaining 2 minutes.
All right. Gear is still down. Did the touch and go, just so I know how she's going to land.
Landing flaps.
Oh,
Flaps up.
just realized I don't have the brake function where it's supposed to be.
Landing flaps.
All right.
Cruise mode.
All right, now that I know that. All right.
Takeoff flaps.
All right, we'll do a takeoff from down there. Well, next time we'll land from that direction.
Flaps up. Gear up. 30 seconds.
All right.
Retracts down. 20 seconds. Landing flaps. Braking. Cruise mode.
All right.
Take flaps up.
That crosswind's starting to bite me,
Timer expired.
but we're okay. We're okay. Man, it's a beautiful plane. Absolutely beautiful plane. Absolute joy to fly. All right,
Prop secured.
let's take her back to the bench and we'll talk about the flight. All righty, we were 7 seconds over on a 3.5 minute timer, so 3 minutes and 37 seconds. The rates that I flew in were 100% throws, 30% expo on the ailerons, 85, 30% expo on the elevator, and rudder, 100%, 30% expo on the rudder. All right, to share my flap settings with you, flaps up are 100% positive, no mix. Takeoff, 50%, no mix. Landing, negative 20%, no mix. Okay, that's the numbers, but let me show you. Like, well, that's great and dandy. Let's see it. Because flying, you really can't see it. You can see the effects, but you can't really see graphically how that is. So here, obviously, flaps up. Here are takeoff flaps. Let me make sure you can see this real quick. Okay, look on the camera. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. All right. I'm a one-man show today because Mama had to work. All right, there's takeoff. That's 50%, no mix. And then landing, that's negative 20%, no mix. And that seems to work just fine. You don't want to slow down too much because you got to keep the wing air going over that wing to provide lift. Otherwise, you have a big pile of foam on the runway. Timer was 3.5 minutes. You got my rates. I'm running a 7-channel Lemon RX Gen 2 stabilized receiver. It only has the wind gyro, does not have self-level. I'm running a 5,000 Turnigy graphene pack. Okay, got the satellite right there off the 7-channel Lemon RX. The Lemon RX is actually back here, satellite up here, no problem with signal. Altogether, the receiver is $33. This one's $19. So I got, what, $52 and some change in receiver, and I've got a great wind gyro. You can turn the gyro off, you can have the gyro on. The rates are adjustable on a knob. Okay, let me show you where hear that? Not that much correction. Okay, the very little correction but if I turn the rates up, now there's really gross correction. So on a knob, I can change it based upon the conditions of that day. If it's like super windy and she's really getting rocked all over the place, I might turn them gains up a little bit for a little bit of correction to smooth out that flight. If she starts going too fast and starting to oscillate with speed, then I've got the gains too high and she's overcorrecting, so I'll turn them back down. That's why I like having rates adjustable on the fly. And a lot of people argue with me about that, but let me tell you something. I just show you what works for me, and this is how it works for me. So you argue your point, whatever you want to argue. I'm just telling you what works for me and my dollar investment. This plane is, what, $529, and my price was $529. So I'm going to fly it the way I want to. I don't understand. When people give you advice on YouTube stuff, listen to them because it makes you think. And then you can adapt that to how you fly. Now, if it doesn't work for you, at least you consider their opinion. Okay, but if it does work for you, hey, then you've learned something. This is why I really encourage comments in my videos. I want you to tell me what you think, because I might learn something, adapt it, and then pass it on to someone else, and that just enriches the hobby. If it doesn't work for me, then hey, I appreciate you giving me a chance. I'll try it. It didn't work for me, but it may work for someone else. All right, and when I do something like that, like perfect example, this isn't plain, but someone said, hey, take your battery checker, Velcro it to the back of your back to back your transmitter. Great idea. Works great. Love it. People keep telling me, hey, with these jets, you know, you got a lot of wind, don't use flaps. Don't have a lot of wind today, how to use flaps. But if it was super windy, I wouldn't be using flaps. I already knew that. Can't tell by my crash of my AL-37 the other day. And by the way, this is my first time flying after crashing that plane. And that AL-37, I knew better. I knew not to use flaps for that kind of approach. I knew to keep more speed, especially with a crosswind and on approach. And the crosswind's not crash it. I crashed that plane. Okay, I knew better than that. I was in such a hurry. It was my first chance to fly. I wanted to get it out there real quick. I was excited about seeing the lights that early morning. And I shouldn't have even flown at that time because, number one, the camera couldn't stay focused on because of such low lighting. Number two, horrible cross breeze. Number three, it was wet and nasty. Everything was screaming to me, this is not the time to maiden this plane, but I did it anyways. I flew with my pride and not with my brain. And it cost me $499 plane. She will fly again, but not for a while. I've got many other projects and things to do. I will get her in the air again, but it's going to be a while. Even if it means buying a new one and keeping that one for spare parts. But for right now, just know she will fly again sometime in the near 3 or 4 months. I'll get her in the air again, I hope. All right. 3.5 minutes left. I'm going to show you, get your back. You know me, I'll ramble on about something that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. I showed you the battery placement, or at least I thought I showed you. KM model afterburner. Thank you, KM models. Let's see what our battery report is. After 3 minutes and 37 seconds of flying, 21%, so perfect storage rate. 3.5 minutes is all you're going to want to fly with this 90 millimeter, and on a 5,000. I might go for 4 minutes if this was a 6,000, but I have found with this particular jet that the 5,000 seems to be the sweet spot. I want to show you battery placement real quick. Just indulge me for just a moment. I'm sorry. You're thinking, you know what? You ramble on, and we're getting ready to click on to the next video, so you need to hurry up there, buddy. And so I just want to show you battery placement. We'll talk about CG. And I know CG, but I don't ever remember the numbers. That's usually why I always mark it on the wings. Here's my fingernails chipping the paint. All right. All right, CG on this plane, on the top, if you find these hard plastic doublers here, see my thumb? Right there at them back corners, if you want to check it from the underside, gears down, hatches on, okay, check it there. CG's pretty good, kind of nose heavy. Let me put the gear up, see if that changes it. That pretty well evens it out right there. So, and then if you look on the underside to where I prefer to check CG, if you look right here, you'll see these hard plastic doublers where your wing screw is. Put your finger right there on that corner where the hard plastic and the wing meets. There's a little corner right there. That's where she CGs. I'm sorry, I don't remember the numbers. On some of my newer planes, I've been actually writing the numbers on the underside of the wing. And that's pretty good right there. All right, that's pretty good. I'm sorry, you'll have to look in the description of the video. We'll have all the specs about the plane, and the CG will be listed there. I almost always go with a factory CG. Rarely do I deviate from that. And what I do is I'll move the battery back and forth to get to that factory CG. It's just so much easier to use that as a reference point. And I'll do my best to make that CG work one way or the other. All right, folks. Well, that is the F-18C 90mm Blue Angel. And this is Fat Guy Flyers RC coming to you from beautiful Avon Park, Florida at the Avon Park Aero Modelers Club. God bless y'all. Merry Christmas and God is good. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.